Right, so we're going to go and have a look at Naas Lane, which is one of the less pleasant pieces of road that you might come across on a driving test. Another great example of why national speed limit doesn't mean drive at 60 miles an hour. There's quite a few hazards along the way. Starting off with the last of the parked vehicles from waterwells. This can get pretty busy at times. This is Sunday morning, so it's not likely to get particularly busy, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. So we've got a sharp right hand bend onto Naas Lane, and this is one of these examples that you get a lot of in Gloucester, where you can drop from town to country in a moment. So that's it, town left behind. Just deal with the cyclists, spot the national speed limit signs. So we'll be looking past the cyclist, give them plenty of room. Recommended distance is 1.5 meters for passing cyclists. That's at speeds up to 30 miles an hour. Above 30 miles an hour, recommended distance is 2 meters. So you want to be making sure that you're looking at the signs, because they do warn things that are coming, like a narrow bridge. Vehicles come from the other side, take all the speed off. You actually see this bridge much later coming from the other side, so you can often see people here going hard on the brakes at this point. Now, as I said, it's national speed limit road. When possible, and get the speed up a little bit. Do not have to reach 60 by any means. But in instances like this, blind bend, narrow road, just want to keep it down. Be prepared to slow down or stop if necessary. You can see the condition of the road is pretty ropey. There's lots of potholes, lots of ruts. There's also coming up, I don't know if you can see it on the left there, there's a concrete drain sticking out in the road. Was once unfortunate enough to be on a driving test with somebody who hit that with a hell of a bang. Needless to say, they didn't pass. So now we're going to get pushed over to the side because of the vehicle oncoming. So slow it down, try and keep out of the standing water. As always, you don't know what the standing water is covering. Onto the bridge over the motorway. I know the road's a little bit of a mess. It's quite easily navigable without going into the broken tarmac. Now up here, the road juts out just very slightly. The side road just juts out very slightly. That does make it a little bit uncomfortably narrow, so I'm just going to slow it down through here. A spot here on the road where it floods on a regular basis. It's not too bad today, it's a little bit wet. Now the road's going to narrow right down here. I'm going to bring the speed right down, keep over to the left as much as is safe, and be prepared to stop. It's a totally blind bend on a narrow road. Just taking it really gently and doing about 10 or 15 miles an hour. You can see that it opens up. Now there's a couple of gaps on the left hand side here where the road widens, so if you need to pull over you can do. And then it narrows down again, and that is pretty much the worst of it when we get to the give way sign at the other end of the road. The new road there is quite comfortably wide enough for two vehicles to drive on. As always, looking out for cyclists. Now bear in mind I'm going to be coming back this way, so I've been warned, I've seen the cyclists. Shouldn't be surprised when I see them as I come back. Right, so I'm heading back towards the Naas Lane turn. It's quite a nasty bend this, you can't see very well to the left, so you have to see as much as you can and then commit, but only commit as and when it's safe to do so. So turning right, slow it right down, look to the left as far as you can see, and then commit. So this is exactly that same stretch of Naas Road, just doing it in the opposite direction, so we're heading in the direction of Waterwells. Again, the road's narrow and it's full of potholes and ruts. Here I'm going to keep right over to the left and slow it right down before I commit. There's a cyclist coming through, and I'm looking as far up the road as I can, which isn't really very far, but I'm looking as far as I can, and I'm prepared to stop if something else comes in the opposite direction. So blind bend, slow it right down, safe to go. Now, as if this road wasn't bad enough, at the other end there's the police headquarters, and also there's a DPD depot, so quite a lot of those vehicles can use this as a bit of a shortcut to get across from one side of town to the other. So it can get quite heavily used, can get quite heavily congested at times. So all the time you're using the gas pedal to vary the speed. Spotted the cyclists, and I know that there were 2 cyclists, so I'm going to be ready for 2. So looking up the road, is it safe to go? Give as much room as I can. Now this cyclist come up towards a blind bend, so there's no way I'm going to take him without seeing that I've got enough room to I can see far enough past him to know that the road's clear. The road should straighten up a bit in a moment. Just take my position where I can see past him. There we go, that's enough space. Got plenty of room. Now we're coming towards the bridge. We're going to see the bridge quite late, so we've got to be prepared to stop. So I'm just approaching cautiously, speeds down, have a look up the road, clear to go, and there we go. So the road's widened up, now we can pick up the speed a little bit, still not great. So I'm certainly not going to be screaming along. Get it up to about 40-ish. That's as much as I need to push it. It's not really worth going way beyond that. And as I said, you can drop from town to country. You also get to drop from country to town. So there we are. In a blink of an eye, we're back in a built-up area. A sharp bend round to the left, and then there's a slightly confusing roundabout sign here. We're going to be turning right, taking the second exit. This roundabout actually this sign shows it as the 3rd exit. There is no exit on the left. There's only straight ahead right, so it's right second exit. And there we are, once again, back on Waterwells.